All right. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Grown-Up Podcast, where you already know what we do. We talk about that grown-up shit and we celebrate independence either through guest or, that naturally on the wave segment now for better, for better terms to give it that oomph. The now segment and we rock out like that, you know what I'm saying? So thank you, everybody, listeners and subscribers. You already know I start the episode off by thanking you guys for listening, for subscribing, for supporting. I really appreciate all of you, and I'll be introducing a brand new account today, so I will throw that in here at the end, and then of course you guys will be able to see all my links in the description below where you can follow me and have updates about the podcast and all that stuff. So like I said before, I'm trying to get my social media presence out there. And so, I appreciate you guys following me and, supporting me and all that stuff. So anyways, let's get it started. Before we get into the actual episode, I got a couple things for you guys. So please go and check out That's Not Canon. You already know the link will be in the description where you can go to the website and check out all the independent podcasts that are on there. Go and follow them and, see what sparks your interest, you guys. Celebrate the independent movement. I love that I'm a part of a bigger independent group, and I love that we're all in our different lanes doing our different things and, and celebrated as a whole. And so it's really cool to be a part of this group of people. So really encourage you guys, expand your podcast library, go check them out, and continue to just support the independent movement. Okay. And secondly, I would like you guys to please go to the description and follow me. Okay. Like I said in the end, I'm gonna announce the new account that I have and everything, and so but I really want you guys to follow me on my Instagram at the Grown Up Podcast and my personal page at That Audio Guy Derek, because I'm going to start going live every week. And that is because my next point here is that this episode is brought to you by Alitu. And Alitu is one of the podcast resource products that I talk about on my lives. And so I'm going to be saying them here, and then on my live I'm going to explain pretty much, a more in-depth background about what the product is and all of that stuff, so you guys can go and check it out and have these resources available to you. Because like I said, lots of people reach out to me, ask me about podcasting stuff. How can they get started? Where can they go? And so I figured, let's make this podcast even more supporting of others and independent endeavors. And so I have all these resources available. I'll be mentioning them throughout our time here, and of course they'll be up on my website. But anyways, back to Alitu. Alitu is an all-in-one podcast website, so you can essentially record, edit, and publish your podcast all in one on Alitu. With me, I do mine separately. I record on a separate software because I went to school for this, and so I learned how to use this type of software and edit and record in it. And then I use a different website as far as hosting my feed out to the mass. And so, but with Alitu, you don't have to do that. You can record on there, you can edit on there, and you can publish your podcast directly from Alitu. And so you can go to the link below, or you can go to the link in my bio in any of them. Click the link, go check out Alitu, go check out all the other podcast resources that I'll be mentioning. And yeah, go and check me out on my live. So you guys, I'll really be doing more of an extended background about them. So all right, so let's get to the episode today. So today I want to talk about time management and openness. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've had a difficult time with now starting school, trying to manage my time and figure out how I can manage time for myself, for school, work, the podcast, and I've been listening to different things and watching different things and trying to get different ideas and different perspectives. And one idea that I acquired, which was something that's working out so far, is to get a planner. Shout out to my friend. She knows who she is. She suggested that I should get a planner. And at first I was like, okay, cool. Like, I've always seen planners in the store, but it was only, well, maybe they've been out past school time, but around like back to school time is really the only time I guess I've ever really paid attention to planners being out and like being, out to be sold. So when she mentioned a planner, I was like, yeah, that's a good idea, but I don't really like writing or nothing. I mean, like, traditional, I'm really into the tech. I like typing. I like my phone, and it's not because, it's not because I'm obsessed with it. It's just that it's easier for me and it's faster for me. But when it comes to business or something like that, or just talking, like if I'm having a conversation, I would rather talk on the phone, which is interesting. But I mean, as far as just like writing a paper or something like that, like I like to type that. But the only thing that I'm really like old fashioned about is my poems. I really like, I guess that's kind of wrong too. I guess I'm lying a little bit, because now I do write poems in my notes. So I guess I'm getting really digital. I like really just instant, like a lot of people. But anyways, back to what I was talking about. So she suggested a planner, and I was like, okay, that's a great idea, but I don't like really writing like that. And so I was like, maybe I'll look for an app. So I looked for a planner app, and I found a planner app that seemed like it was really perfect for me. It worked well. So I downloaded it, started using it. And so far, I think I'm about a week into using it, and it's been great. So it's allowing me to see my schedule, not only for work, but if I put in, time frame from here to here, I'm going to do podcasting, or from here to here, I have an appointment, or from here to here, I'm reffing a soccer game, or, from here to here, babe, I can spend time with you. And it's nice to be able to see it. And I can put reminders for things for myself in there and all that stuff. And it's, a digitized way of having a planner, but it's tailor-made to me. And initially I was turned off by the idea, but then when I seen it from my perspective and was like, maybe I can make this something that I can embrace, and downloaded the app, I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is something that is working for me, and it works tailor-made to me. So I guess what I'm saying is, sometimes, when we're in search of things, of how to do things differently, or how to, people are suggesting how to, things that they do in order to make their life easier. And sometimes we turn our minds off to that idea because it's not really something that completely aligns with what we do or how we do things or whatever. But if we just change our perspective just a little bit and tailor make it to ourselves and make it, like, okay, I'm taking that suggestion in, but I'm gonna make it my own. Then you see how it works for you, and you see how it may make things easier, and then, we're not so shut off to different ideas, different perspectives, and we can start to really open our minds up and be more open. And that's where the openness comes to, and so, another thing is like, excuse me. So while I'm, working and going to school, I'm trying to, like I said, plan my time of when I'm going to do school, when I'm, at work, and when I'm not at work. And I've been trying to stick to what I can like reading and stuff at work, and then the more harder things, try and keep them at home, but also trying to not to shut myself off to other people, because I work in a place where I'm also assisting a lot of people. And so with being able to take a break from, say I'm studying or whatever, say I'm reading, with being able to take a break, I'm able to gain another perspective and gain different perspectives and not really shut myself off completely, to studying, because I could miss something. And the reason I say that is because I had these two experiences that really resonated with me, and I hope that I can connect with them and get them actually physically here on the podcast, or just even record, what they have to say and put it here, because I really think they were really powerful stories to be told, because we have to have these real conversations. We have to have these real, honest, open conversations, and still be able to, say, like, take some time and lend an ear, and I'm a busy person, I'm doing school, I'm doing work and what have you, but I'm also trying to still take this time. And, it also, the podcaster in me allows me to do this, and it's such a beautiful thing for me, and it makes me feel so good inside that I'm able to lend an ear and tell these stories and have these real honest conversations and have these connections with these people, and then bring it back here to the podcast and have these real honest conversations with you guys, and hopefully the people that need to hear it and share, and people listen to this and say, and look within themselves and say, okay, maybe we can change something, maybe it can be done, and I'm just one person, I'm only doing what I can do, but that's that's the hope and the dream, so, but yeah, so again, back to the planner and everything, it's just really helping me stay more focused in between time, because my mind can really wander, like, very easily. And, like I was saying right now, where it's like I'm doing school, reading, and then all of a sudden I'm taking a break, which is good that I need to take a break and still be open to people and discussions and connections like that. But it's also like I'm taking a break because my brain can't focus for longer than, 10, 15 minutes, and I'm reading the line over and over again before I can finally get to the next page. And so I'm like a little frustrated as well. And so it's good to take a break and be able to have that connection with other people and be open and still, lend an ear and be that vessel for that person, but but that's how my mind works, it's like, okay, I know I have to get this done, so I'm going to do this. Oh, okay, let me take a break. Okay, then I do this, then that happens, and I have this connection, then I'm back, and then I'm like, oh, I got to do podcast stuff. But like, that's how my brain works. And so it's like the planner helps me focus and say, okay, between this time, this is what I'm doing. Between this time, this is what I'm doing. And it allows me to say, okay, like, so for instance, if I'm spending time with my girl, it's like, okay, I'm spending time with my girl between this time and this time. I know to put my phone away, put all my electronics and stuff away, so we can spend quality time. If I know I'm doing school, then I'm like, okay, I know to put my electronics away and either do the reading, or I do bring my electronics out and I do what I have to do for the assignment, so it kind of focuses my mind, and then it's, it gives me some flexibility within my time, and being and allowing myself to be open, and like I was saying, tying it into taking that break and having those connections with people and being able to say, okay, like, I'm here for you in this moment, which is crazy because I'm also taking a moment for myself because I'm taking a break. And then I just, feel compelled to also give this person a moment, but it's such real, honest conversation that it's amazing. You know what I mean? And so I really just wanted to share a little bit about the conversation that I had with these two individuals. And hopefully, like I said, I can get their story here on the podcast live, so to speak. So the first guy that I spoke with, it was really, really, heartbreaking story that he told me about, coming here to this country and, just like any other coming to America story of wanting a better life for yourself, for your family, and trying to provide and trying to work hard, and a lot of odds being stacked against him, especially from where he came from, and the big family that he's in, and the expectation that is put upon him to take care of his own family because he's married, he has a wife, and then also take care of his family back home, because that's also what they do and how they live. They all, even if they get married, as he was telling me, even if they get married, they all still live in one home, and they support each other and uphold that house. And I thought it was a very interesting story and a very interesting perspective and take on life. And and he was asking me these questions of like, do you have siblings, and do you have a mother and father, and how come you don't live with them? And it got me thinking, like, it's crazy. It's like I left at 18 because I couldn't get along with my mother, and maybe I couldn't see from her perspective a lot of times, or vice versa as well. But everything put aside, thinking about what he describes and what I went through, it's so interesting just to see the different dynamic, and I was telling him that my brothers also, they don't live at home either, and stuff like that. And he was very intrigued. Like, he was very not intrigued. Well, yeah, intrigued, but also very surprised. He was surprised because he's like, wow, like, you're doing all this stuff. You work full time, you're going to school, and you live by yourself. Like, you're not at home. You don't really, you're not really that close with your family and all these things. And it's a very interesting take, because for me, it's about, I think now it's coming to me, it's more about identity and, establishing yourself in this world. And once you're 18, in a lot of cultures, especially Black culture, you're an adult, you're a grown-up. And within that, it's establishing your individuality, establishing who you are and what you're going to do and who you're going to be in this life. And that's either you're going to be a hard worker and find a job that you're going to be at for 10, 15, 20 years, or you're going to hone into who you are on the inside, and you're going to go for that, and you're going to work hard and bust your ass, and it's going to be years and years and years, because we have to work 3 and 4 times harder than everybody else. And but it's either or. And so for me, I was trying to establish who I was, even though I didn't know. And I was afraid to even do that. I was afraid to even speak up. I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I went to college and didn't even really think about it, and I failed miserably. And then, came back, and I was like, okay, well, what do I do now? And then with Job Corps and was like, okay, what do I do now? And I threw myself into school, back into what I initially knew that I had a love for. And once I threw myself back into it, or just into it in general, I automatically gravitated towards it and knew that this was my calling. And so, again, it was, like I said, trying to establish who I was. And it took a while for me to find myself, but I was okay and willing to do that and be out here in the world and do that. They have a different perspective. It's the entirety is family. It's not really about the individual. It's not really about what the individual wants. It's about what everyone wants and needs. It's the entire family. And it's just an interesting perspective. And, I hope to gain more perspective from him. And like I said, hopefully get his story and his side here on the podcast. But it was very interesting because then I had a conversation with another gentleman that kind of tied into the same type of thing that me and the first guy was kind of talking about. And he was telling me about how, he has always been the type of guy that's been there for his kids, even when him and his wife divorced and, his son and his daughter were 10 years apart. He's still there for his kids. He dropped what he was doing from his job when his son called him and he went to be there for him. And, he was telling me how he just, he doesn't understand how some people have kids and, don't want to be there for them because they didn't ask to be here. And that was literally the first time I honestly heard a parent say that. And it literally shocked me. And I was just sitting there listening to this gentleman really speak these words. And I kid you not, this was the experience I had. And it was so refreshing and so interesting. And, we got to talk about a lot of other things. And, he just sounded like a really cool guy. And I gave him one of my podcast business cards. So shout out to you, man. Hopefully you tune into the podcast. Hopefully we connect again and, I get you here on the podcast because he had a lot to say. And I think people like that who have a lot to say should be able to say it and should be able to have a platform to say that, because why not? Why not? I'm an independent podcaster. I can do essentially whatever I want. I mean, there are some guidelines to what I can and can't do, but I'm doing my best to stay within those but still provide this, avenue, this vessel for people to be themselves and be who we are and figure out this shit in life and go through the things that we go through together and have these real conversations and not feel like we have to be boxed in and do this shit alone because we think that we're the only ones going through shit when we're absolutely 100,000% not. There's still crazy shit going on around the other side of the world. They over there still fucking shit up. It's wild. And we're all going through our shit, but if we can just share our stories and share our conversations and come to understandings and understand differences and spread love and happiness within everyone and be okay with being different and understand those individuals and those people and bring it together just a little bit, we might can get somewhere, but we can't get anywhere if we're all divided and we're all on different accords and we can't understand different and all these things. And that was kind of another thing that me and that guy were kind of getting into a little bit before he kind of had to get up out of there. But it's just those interactions that happen back to back. And because I was able to, even though I'm working on time management and I have a planner and it was okay, between this time and this time I'm working, and I was trying to do school and now I'm taking a break, I still was able to have that time management, or not time management, have that flexibility of still being able to say, okay, I'm taking this break for myself, but also like, let me lean into this interaction. Let me lean into this connection. And, and it's crazy too, because now that I'm leaning into these interactions, I can literally feel like over my body that these are like good interactions to lean into. And like, I know that what I'm doing is, there's a purpose within this. And so yeah, I mean, it was enlightening, it was refreshing, and so the last thing that I really want to just reiterate here is just, as a podcaster, I'm almost forced to be comfortable being open, especially on, a new level of sharing myself, and having and being able to be that vessel for others to share themselves with me as well. And so I take pride in being open to everyone and listening to their stories, no matter what they think, because if we don't meet people where they're at, then we'll never be able to live in the moment. And something I'm only discovering now and is with, with my new relationship with God, with myself, with my significant other, with my family, all these things, is I'm trying to meet everybody where they're at and be okay with, differences. And it's okay to be different, and it's okay to say, we disagree, and that's fine. And we can have another conversation, and that's okay. And these are small things that are coming to me that I'm so happy that I'm kind of connecting the dots earlier than I expect. And hopefully that means that there's just a whole field of new discoveries and new connections waiting ahead for me. And I always know that God is working on the new blessings. So, I'm just going to continue to do me, to preach my love, and my care. And I'm just going to try and do my thing and put myself out there. You know what I mean? So that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the podcast. I love y'all so much, and y'all know we not about to get out of here before we introduce again the Nationally Unaware Spotlight artist that we're shining the light on this month. And before we do that, I want to announce that I have a brand new account, and drum roll please. It's a Twitter account. Woo-hoo. Oh man, I can't even really hit that high pitch anymore because my voice is setting in, so it's crazy. But yes, I have a brand new podcast Twitter account. It's at Grown Up Podcast 9. The G and the U are uppercase. So so go and follow me on there. Go and send independent artists on there. The reason why I made a podcast Twitter is because I get a lot of my artists from Twitter, and I'm trying to kind of separate personal and podcast just a little bit. I know my personal and podcast get wrapped up here a lot on the podcast, but for the sake of social media, maybe just a little bit, I'll separate that. But but mostly for supporting independent music on there, and for artists to reach out to me on there. And so you guys, if you know any independent artists, send them to me on Twitter, or you can send them to my personal page. Either or, all my links are in the description for y'all to click right away. And check me out, follow me, and send those artists my way. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, I'm gonna let the Nationally Unaware Spotlight artist take it away. Y'all make sure y'all are staying tuned. I will be dropping our interview at the end of this month. It was a dope one. He's a really cool guy. I'm so glad we got to connect. So I hope you guys again are supporting these independent artists. And so anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let R.O.N.F Deezle take the mic away. I appreciate y'all. Let's get it.
Throw your ones to the sky.
It don't really matter, no.
It don't really matter.
Hey, it don't really matter if you hate me or love me. I'ma do my thing, whether way above or underneath. Expectations, your approval, I'm not chasing. Evidence clear, the message is strong. I just thought I had to say it. Hey, it don't really matter if you hate me or love me. It don't really matter if you hate me or love me. It don't really matter if you hate me or love me. I'm me. Yeah. Way above the ground or underneath.
And my words gon' be here when I'm gone. I don't ever forget, knew that all along. Catch a flight every day, but I don't leave home. I stay making these plays, I stay in my zone.
Grown-up family, y'all already know what to do. Go to the description right now. Check out this artist, R.O.N.F Deezle. Click the links right away to stream his music and follow him. And you already know my links will be in the description as well, where you can click right away and follow me and check out the podcast updates and all of that comes with the podcast. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. We gonna keep vibing out. Make sure y'all staying safe and being kind. And we out.
Way above or underneath. Expectations, your approval, I'm not chasing. Evidence clear, the message is strong. I just thought I had to say it. Hey, it don't really matter if you hate me or love me. It don't really matter if you hate me or love me. It don't really matter if you hate me or love me. I'm me, way above the ground or underneath. Yo. Abstract when I'm painting my visions. Told them I'm with it and they didn't listen. So now I'm just shitting on all of my competition. Hey. I use the flex like a tag. Might be low, but I will bounce back. Rubber band man, we gon' have to make it stack. Like that, like that, like that, like that. Hey. Popular guy, I never been. Losses and lessons, I gotta win. Fuck up the game, how I'm breaking in. They be fluent finessing, so fuck a friend. You ain't been down, you ain't been around. Sharks in the water, you left me to drown. Expecting a spot when I'm off of the ground. You turn to another face, lost in the crowd.
Hate me or love me.
Yo, you heard that? That's some real ass shit right there. Yeah. It don't really matter.
Hate me or love me.
You can hate me, love
Hate
me.
me or love me.
I'm me. That's right. Can't stop talk your shit.
Or love me.
Shit. Just a smooth criminal individual.